Hi, you're watching AniVerse English. I've experienced countless reincarnations. In my initial life, I boldly entered the Miram world armed with only a third-rate martial technique and a third-rate sword technique. Despite my courage, my sword never swung before I fell victim to bandits. But death was not the end. I was reborn, retaining the memories of my previous life. Inhabiting different bodies, I relived my existence. An accidental opportunity presented itself, and I seized it with unwavering determination. I believed it was the chance spawned from my relentless desire to become the greatest under the heavens. Under a thick overcast sky, an old figure stood atop a mountain cliff. My life, he sighed, repeated as many times as the flapping of your wings. It's exhausting. I've achieved my ambition of becoming the greatest in the Miram world and ascended to the throne. Now, there's nothing left for me to attain. Whether it's a cruel joke or not, I truly yearn for some much-needed rest. Suddenly, his eyes shifted, and in another dimension, he found himself gazing upon his severed head. What is this? Why the hell? He screamed in frustration. Why did it start again? I've had enough. I declared my contentment. I said I wanted to stop living. I'm tired. Amid his outburst, someone seized his hand and uttered, "Young master, why do you keep saying such terrible things?" The hero, bewildered, questioned, "Who?" Suddenly, memories rushed into his mind. Ugh, these memories. The recollections etched into this body surged back with painful intensity. The woman beside him asked, "Young master, are you okay?" The hero gazed at the woman and recognized her. I regarded my nanny just like my mother. And that kid who thought of me as his young. The reason this scoundrel died. Suicide. The man who took his own life spoke about waiting to end it as soon as he woke up. Realizing his mistake, he apologized. "I'm sorry, Nanny. I just had a nightmare." Nanny sneered. "Ah, a nightmare? You must have dreamed that because you're feeling unwell. You've been skipping meals for days. We should call a doctor first." The hero reassured her. "I'm fine. I just need a little rest." Nanny urged, "Then at least have some food first." Hero replied, "No, I'm not hungry. I want to be alone now. I need to figure out what to do with the rest of my life." Nanny frowned. "Young master, figure out?" Hero quickly corrected himself. "Ah, I misspoke. If there's another incident, then I'd be crazy. Do I look like such a crazy guy?" The nanny paused, then said, "Well, a bit. The way you speak is also strange." Hero mumbled to himself, I need to fix how I speak first. Besides, I caused a commotion as soon as I woke up, so I have nothing to say." Then he added, I'll eat in a bit. Nothing will go wrong. I promise." The nanny wanted to say something but decided to let it go, departing with, "Yes, I understand. I'll prepare some of your favorite dishes." She stopped, turned back, and added, "You have to stay calm." Hero assured her, "Don't worry too much." "No, don't worry." As the two left, the door closed, and Hero lay down on the bed, pondering, does this mean it isn't over yet? Why did it start again? For several days following that incident, I found myself reliving the memories, the recollections still tightly intertwined with the experiences etched into this body. The original owner of this body is Suk Jinho, the illegitimate son of the Suk family, one of the wealthiest families in the Central Plain. Despite their affluence, Suk Jinho faced the harsh reality of being a child born out of wedlock. No matter how opulent the surroundings, the family's disdain for an illegitimate son rendered their wealth meaningless. Suk Jinho grew pessimistic about his situation, gradually neglecting his meals and spending his days confined to bed as if waiting for death. Eventually, he relinquished his earthly ties, and at that moment, I took over his body, continuing his life. A young man like him was committing suicide, while I, the one truly wanting to die, assumed control. Family contempt? I chose to ignore it. There are two people here who love you more than anything else. His young, referring to Suk Jinho, exclaimed, "Young master, where did you come out dressed so lightly in this cold weather?" Suk Jinho replied, "Dressed lightly? What nonsense. If I wore more, I'd be rolling around." His young took a cloth and placed it on Suk Jinho, exclaiming, "Let me escort you to your quarters." The nanny arrived. "Young master, why are you just returning now? It's getting late, and the weather is cold." Suk Jinho scratched his head and said, "I had so much on my mind that I didn't notice it was getting dark." They both guided him to the dining table. The nanny said, Eat this before it gets cold. Suk Jinho was surprised. No, why are you treating me like a child? The nanny replied, make your complaints once you've regained your health. Suk Jinho contemplated while eating. Did you leave these people behind to die? You foolish boy. After that dinner, I walked around, lost in thought. Since reincarnating as Suk Jinho, I have been absorbed in deep contemplation, thoughts I have never had, even after hundreds of lifetimes. Maybe it's because I'm accepting a kindness that isn't mine, or maybe because there's nothing left I want. I, who have strived through countless repetitive lives, don't even want to understand your choice. However, when I see the way they look at me, I find it hard to pretend I didn't notice and just live on. So, what was it that you wanted? What was it you couldn't let go of, even in death? On behalf of the departed soul, I'll try my best with the remaining spiritual power to convey the will etched in the body. The vessel is a bit small, though. It seems it was a will that can't be let go. Providing oneself, as the one who subdued the Miram world, I find you pitiful. I will fulfill your wish. The next day, Suk Jinho woke and murmured, the will of this kid is to prove himself. So, to fulfill that, I began my training. As a merchant dealing with a vast amount of wealth, the presence of an outstanding martial artist becomes crucial. That's why the first martial art that I need to learn is the Taiji heaven-flipping technique. It's a body enhancement martial art that will transform the ordinary physique of Suk Jinho. It lays the foundation necessary to learn the secret techniques that I've honed over countless lifetimes. The process of altering one's innate physique is painful indeed, but without enduring this process, mastering the divine art is impossible. K.E.U.G. Ugh. I expected this, but the pain is immense. A cracking sound echoed from his shoulders, elbows, and knees. Just a bit more. Just a little bit more. He moved his hands, creating a blue aura that enhanced his spiritual martial arts. All right, for now, it's a success. The accumulation of internal energy is low, yet gathering energy while in motion is a blessing in itself. As he focused, Nanny called him from behind, Young master. Good heavens. You're sweating so much in this chilling cold. Young master, are you injured somewhere? Suk Jinho spoke. Nanny, seriously. Do I look like I'm in pain? Nanny replied, well, not exactly. But pushing yourself too abruptly could lead to serious consequences. Suk Jinho smiled and said, Nanny, this isn't just a simple workout. I'm practicing martial arts. Nanny frowned. Martial arts. Suk Jinho assured her, yes, martial arts. Since I need to get stronger to protect you. Nanny said with a smile, don't say such things. I can protect myself. Just stay healthy. Suk Jinho said, that might be difficult. I have a favor to fulfill. Nanny sneered, favor? But the only people he meets are Yoon and me. Suk Jinho said, if you see Yoon, tell him to come see me. I've got something to teach him as well. Nanny replied, yes. She glared at Suk Jinho and thought, no, now, it's time to trust rather than question. It's the first time I've seen young masters who assured, I'll support you, young master. In the garden, his Hyung was practicing hard. Suk Jinho saw him and said, as expected, my eyes weren't wrong. You have an ideal physique to learn the heavenly extreme iron defense technique. He clapped appreciating. Good, Yoon. We'll stop here for today. His Hyung wiped his sweat and asked with a smile, hee, how is it? Do you think I've become stronger? Suk Jinho grabbed him by the shoulders and said, you're still far from it, but your progress is surprisingly quick. If you continue to practice diligently and achieve great success, even a strong external art won't be able to break through the heavenly extreme iron defense technique, so keep working hard. His Hyung said, I can't believe you're putting so much effort into someone like me. I'll work hard to be of assistance to you, young master. Suk Jinho said, don't belittle yourself. You're pretty much like my younger brother. Tears gushed from Hyung's eyes, and he instantly hugged Suk Jinho. Suk Jinho contemplated, this kid. Ugh, so sticky. Nanny arrived with a tray, exclaiming, have some refreshing water. Both of them appreciated her effort with thanks. As Suk Jinho was drinking water, voices came from outside. Hey, don't move that there. Hurry up. Don't you know that guests are coming tomorrow? Move faster. Suk Jinho asked, what's all the fuss about? Nanny answered, didn't I mention before that the Supreme Elder's 70th birthday celebration is the day after tomorrow? Suk Jinho said with an indifferent expression, all right. I forgot. Nanny asked, will you be all right? Suk Jinho didn't understand and asked, about? Nanny told him, you'll have to confront your brothers. It must still be tough for you. Suk Jinho sneered. Tough? Nanny, who do you think you should be worried about? The ones who should be worried are them. Nanny frowned them. Suk Jinho confirmed. Yeah. Nanny murmured to herself, how did the young master change so much since that incident? Then she said, since the young master is so spirited, I can't afford to fall behind either. I've taken care of the gift, so just go without any worries. Suk Jinho sneered. Huh? A gift? Aren't we short on money? Nanny said, who says everything has to be bought with money? The outfit you're wearing was also made by me. Suk Jinho was stunned. Ah. It's still surprising at times, seeing people love and follow me like this. Then he said, good. With our dependable Nanny and Yoon, I'm confident I'll return safely. Nanny said, right? I heard that distinguished figures from the 9 great sects will be attending the Supreme Elder's 70th celebration. If you catch their eye, you might have a chance to become their disciple, right? Suk Jinho said, the 9 great sects, they aren't a big deal. The day after tomorrow. Young master, the day of the 70th celebration is finally upon us. Nanny said, making sure that he looked fine. Suk Jinho asked, Nanny, aren't you too excited? Nanny replied, of course. It's the day to show how much our young master has transformed. Will you surprise everyone? Suk Jinho said, but Nanny, you've always said I was the coolest. His Hyung interrupted from behind. No. We have changed a lot. Your eyes have become more intense, your physique has become stronger, and you have also become more confident. Suk Jinho said, well, I have to change. Since there are people who believe in me. In the future, there will be many changes not just in my appearance. Today marks the first step. I can't predict what will happen, or what transformations will occur. But you too, will you continue to trust me and follow me in the future? Nanny assured him with a bright smile on her face, without a doubt, young master. His Hyung added, we'll follow you wherever you go. Suk Jinho declared, all right, then, let's go. As the two departed for the event, they walked through the streets. People around started discussing his presence. Huh? Isn't that the 4th young master? What brings him here? He's usually holed up in his quarters. Another person said, Chunseok says that his personality has changed a bit. Even so, how can people change so easily? Suk Jinho whispered, these rascals, I can hear all of their whispers. His Hyung asked, young master. Are you okay? Suk Jinho assured him, don't worry about it. I've indeed lived a pathetic life. As they were talking, a figure approached from the side. The rumors about you changing have spread. So, it's true? Suk Jinho recognized him. That guy must be Suk Manho. Suk Manho continued, well, it's the Supreme Elder's birthday, so there's no way you would stay holed up in your quarters. Suk Jinho pinched him with his sword stick. Suk Manho questioned, are you always this rude? Suk Jinho replied, I'm the 4th young master, while you are the 5th young master. Suk Manho said, there's just a month's difference between us. And have you forgotten our family's principle of meritocracy? Suk Jinho said, at most, you are just a second-rate warrior. Suk Manho said, being a second-rate warrior at my age isn't necessarily a bad thing, you know? And compared to you, who just lazes around, I think I'm doing my part. Suk Jinho said, you certainly know how to stand in line. Suk Manho's head twitched, and he said in anger, this bastard, seriously. Suk Jinho said, are you planning to start a fight on such an important day? There are many eyes on us. I'll make some time soon. Let's do it then. Well, tomorrow is also okay. Suk Manho said with a heavy expression, don't chicken out. With that said, he passed by him. Suk Jinho said, don't worry. Then he murmured to himself, I needed a spark to signal that I've changed. He's not a bad choice. Objectively, he's average, but his reputation within the sea of family isn't bad. And I have a score to settle. Both of them reached and saw a huge crowd gathered over there. His Hyung exclaimed, it's quite immense. It seems even more so than last year. Suk Jinho sneered, is that so? His Hyung told him, there is the Murim 5 flower and even the representative of the top 10 great escort agencies from the Central Plains. It looks like some have even come from Zhongnan and Manhua. Suk Jinho said, they must be quite a prestigious family. His Hyung replied, it signifies the high stature of the Supreme Elder. Anyway, with so many guests, it looks like we'll have to wait quite a while. Suk Jinho said, there's no helping it. Talking about family ties applies mainly to the direct descendants. His-hyung replied, No, I didn't mean. Suk-jinho said, I didn't mean that either. I'm just stating a fact. Well, luckily, there's an interesting spectacle to pass the time. It's about Suk-manho, and how he is intimidated by the other younger generation. Even the other direct descendants seem to be the same. He was all fired up just a while ago. His-hyung laughed. As he was just saying, two old men approached from behind, exclaiming, Who? Look at this. He seemed surprisingly sturdy, didn't he? Another one added, Exactly. He is much better than most younger generations. Suk-jinho turned around and asked, What is it? The old man in the purple robe said, Oh, this is bad. We must have been very rude. The other old man in the maroon robe said, My apologies. It was instinctive seeing your exceptional physique. Then he asked, But are you a blood relative of the Suk family head? What's your name? From your movements, you seem to have a solid foundation. Do you perhaps belong to a martial arts family? How long have you been training in martial arts? After the rain of a couple of questions, Suk-jinho spoke, I am Suk-jinho, the fourth young master of the Suk family. I see no reason to answer the rest of your questions. That's all. The elders blocked their way, saying, You don't seem to know who we are yet. Come on, ask us. Suk-jinho replied, I know. Aren't you an elder from the Manhua sect and the Shounen sect? It seems you're lost. I'll have a servant guide you. As everyone around heard about their identity, they started talking. Aren't they elders from the Manhua sect and the Shounen sect? To be like that in front of important people like them. The elder coughed, ahem, and said, I'll get to the point before you go. Would you like to join the Manhua sect? We'll make you a top-notch martial artist in Murim. Another elder urged, No, come to our Shounen sect. You've heard about the 36 swords under heaven, haven't you? Suk-jinho declared, I don't particularly want to join any sect. I'm sorry. The elder of the Manhua sect said, Training alone is bound to hit a wall at some point. If you come to Manhua, I'll personally help you develop a sword sent from your sportsmanship. Suk-jinho retorted with a smile, I'm sorry. I intend to master the martial arts that I'm currently studying. It would be best if you stopped wasting your time. The elder said, Oh my, sure, you can master it. But that's a reason why superior martial techniques exist, you know? Has anyone ever become the greatest under heaven through an inferior martial art technique? Suk-jinho replied, It's enough for me. I need to see my grandfather, so I'll take my leave. The elder tried to stop him with his hand. Wait. But Suk-jinho easily dodged his hand and moved forward. The elder was dumbfounded. Did that kid just dodge my hand? The elder of the Shounen sect said, Old man, it must be just a coincidence. But if it was deliberate, then he is bound to become the most powerful man under heaven in the future. The other elder added, That seems likely, right? In any case, it's a shame. I haven't seen such talent in a long time. I need to ask the Supreme Elder about that child. Meanwhile, Suk-jinho murmured to himself, I've wasted time getting caught up in something pointless. His-hyung asked, Young master, are you sure it's okay? They are elders from a prestigious sect. Suk-jinho replied, Don't worry about it. I'm not even their disciple. His-hyung nodded in agreement. Well, that's true, but... As they were discussing, a figure approached, exclaiming, What are you doing here? Suk-jinho greeted, Hello, uncle. I'm waiting for my turn. His uncle questioned, Are you a stranger? Why are you in the line for guests? Follow me. Suk-jinho asked, Can we see him right away? His uncle said, Obviously. You are aware that I'm from the branch family too, right? Suk-jinho appreciated. Thank you, uncle. Then he murmured to himself, He used to ignore my greetings in the past. But now his tone has suddenly changed. I guess it's because the elders from Manhua and Shounen showed interest in me. So, now I'm worth talking to. Inside the palace, the Supreme Elder was sitting on his throne. A person who came to meet him said, Then, I will take my leave. The Supreme Elder whispered, There isn't a single useful person here. Even the so-called elite descendants of the merchants can't hide their fear in front of me. A servant came and informed him, Mr. Suk-myung-woo and Mr. Suk-jinho have requested an audience. The Supreme Elder said, Let them in. Both of them came inside. Suk-myung-woo cupped his hands and greeted, Supreme Elder. Jinho wanted to pay his respects, so I accompanied him. Suk-jinho wished him a happy birthday. Nanny and Yoon helped prepare this for you. It's nothing extravagant. The Supreme Elder thought, usually, one would claim they prepared it themselves. Then he said, Opening the box, there's nothing as grand as sincerity. Perhaps that's what makes it even more precious. It was a bright shawl. The Supreme Elder said, "It's wonderful. I've heard that the elders from Manhua and Jiangnan have expressed interest in you." Suk Jinho nodded. "That's right." The Supreme Elder asked, "Which of the two are you considering?" Suk Jinho answered, "I have no interest in either. I've already told the elders of Manhua and Jiangnan. My current intention is to fully master the martial arts I'm learning." The Supreme Elder laughed, "Kahaha. So, you've set your ambitions on a Miram world instead of a mundane one." Suk Jinho said, "For the time being. Life doesn't always go as planned, but it's still necessary to have one." The Supreme Elder asked, "Do you need my assistance, grandson?" Suk Jinho answered, "Not at the moment." The Supreme Elder sneered, "I see. We'll talk about this another time." Suk Jinho cupped his hand and bowed, saying, "I'll take my leave." After Suk Jinho departed, the Supreme Elder contemplated, "I wonder what kind of child garners the attention of both Mount Hua and Jiangnan. He shows no signs of nervousness, even in my presence. He seems like someone I'd like to test." In a few minutes, a disciple came asking, "Sword Emperor, are you there? Did you call for me?" The Supreme Elder urged him, "Keep an eye on that boy Jinho who just left." The disciple nodded, "Yes, Supreme Elder." The Supreme Elder murmured to himself, "We'll see if he has the potential to take over the Suk family by observing him." After departing from the palace, Suk Jinho let out a sigh of relief. Phew, finally finished with that bothersome task. His young cautioned him, "Young master, be careful. What if someone hears you?" Suk Jinho retorted, "Who's there to listen?" As they were talking, someone shouted, "Hey, what is this now?" Suk Jinho, not understanding, replied, "This? Why are you blocking my way? Move aside." The person said, "Oh, I thought we could have a nice conversation." Suk Jinho stared at him with cold eyes. "Conversation?" The person exclaimed in fear, "You look more like you've come to pick a fight." Someone from the sidelines recognized him. "Aren't you Yi Zhonggak from the Yi family of Hebei province?" Another person added, "It seems right. But why is he behaving like that? The vibes between the two don't look normal." His young asked him, "Young master, should I call the warriors?" Suk Jinho replied, "Stay still. He seems to have an issue with me. It seems he is jealous that I've attracted the attention of Mount Hua and Jiangnan. So he wants to defeat me to garner some of that attention." Wei Zhonggak yelled, I'm not backing down," and charged at Suk Jinho again. Suk Jinho, with a calm expression, effortlessly dodged his attacks. Wei Zhonggak fell to his knees, bewildered. Suk Jinho remarked, "I, who have only just started learning martial arts, have surprised you by deflecting that hit. Enough with the surprises. You've started a fight in someone else's yard, so you must be prepared, right?" Wei Zhonggak gritted his teeth, drew his sword, and shouted, "What did you say? You're getting cocky merely because you happen to deflect my blow." Suk Jinho charged forward, exclaiming, "Remember, it's self-defense, so don't feel wronged when you get hit." Wei Zhonggak attempted to strike back, but Suk Jinho easily dodged and countered, delivering a powerful punch to Wei Zhonggak's face. With a loud sound, Wei Zhonggak tried another attack, exclaiming, "Bastard." Suk Jinho murmured to himself, So you're saying that you won't get hit easily? However, how trivial. Such crude, ignorant, and predictable moves." Wei Zhonggak, frustrated, exclaimed, "You dodged my attack 3 times?" Suk Jinho replied, "It's all pretty visible. If I couldn't even dodge that, then I am a fool, wouldn't I?" Wei Zhonggak, embarrassed, muttered, to be humiliated by such a lowly novice. He then pulled his sword again, declaring, "I'll kill you." The disciples around were surprised. He unsheathed his sword. "Shouldn't we intervene?" One of them urged, "Someone, summon the warriors." Suk Jinho observed his moves and charged with a powerful kick, sending the sword flying away from his hand. Yi Zhonggak, startled, watched as his sword fell to the ground. In the next moment, he was struck hard in the face, sending him flying across the room, crashing into the wall. Suk Jinho swiftly retrieved his sword. The onlookers were stunned. Good heavens! Yi Zhonggak has been practicing martial arts for a long time, while the 4th young master of the Suk family has only recently begun his martial training. He must be a martial prodigy. The attention from Mount Hua and Jiangnan is indeed well placed. Moments later, the disciples of the Suk family arrived, asking, "Young master, are you all right?" Suk Jinho replied, "Yes, as you can see. The disciples then cornered Yijognak and stated, this incident will not pass by quietly. We'll need to confront the Yi family directly about the severity of this situation. Sukjinho intervened, saying, wait, I'd like to handle this myself. He held his sword to Yijognak's chin and continued, if you draw your sword, then you ought to be ready to face the consequences. He then shouted, should I cut you to pieces with this sword? Yijognak trembled in fear. I was wrong. I made a mistake. Without further delay, Sukjinho killed him. Then he said, please clean it up. The disciples nodded, yes, young master. Don't worry. As Sukjinho departed, the disciples whispered, did you see the young master's movements earlier? There wasn't even a single unnecessary move. Another one added, his overwhelming momentum was also perfect. He's changed so much. A girl observed Sukjinho from a distance and asked, he seems quite capable, doesn't he? Her servant replied, we should observe a bit more, young miss. The girl, holding a fan in her hand and dressed in bright clothes with porcelain skin, resembling a beautiful fairy, remarked, there's no harm in securing him first and worrying later. There's a chance he might get caught by someone else. She continued with her red lips, so we should make the first move before the others or Abonis lay their hands on him. Start by gathering all the information about him. Every little detail. The servant nodded, understood. Then, she turned her gaze back to Sukjinho, deep in thought. Little brother, you would be the one to create a variable in the current situation. So Sukmiryong can become the head of the Suk family. The next day, Sukjinho was cornered. An aged man named Jalong Maryung urged, Yoon, could you do me this one favor? It's not like I'm asking for the impossible. Yoon hesitated. I can't accept this. You know me as well as I do. I don't possess such capability. Jalong Maryung countered, what are you talking about? While you and the young master don't share blood, who doesn't know that both of you are already like brothers? You just need to create an opportunity. Yoon, I've heard rumors that you've become incredibly strong since learning martial arts from the young master. Didn't you save a servant being harassed by ruffians in an alley a while ago? Against 5 of them, no less. Yoon nodded reluctantly, well, that's true. Jalong Maryung continued, I've been practicing the third-rate sword technique and third-rate movement technique for 5 years, and I'm still at this level. I want to learn properly for once. If the young master refuses, then I will give up completely. Given my age, this will likely be my last chance. Yoon realized the depth of the situation and said, all right. I'll give it a try. But don't get your hopes up. You know the young master's personality, right? Jalong Maryung expressed his gratitude. Thank you, Yoon. Thank you. As they were talking, Sukjinho arrived and questioned, what's all the noise about? Both of them bowed and greeted him, young master. Sukjinho ordered, Yoon, this noisy guy is disturbing my training. Kick him out. However, Jalong Maryung remained motionless. Sukjinho asked, why are you still here? Jalong Maryung realized the pressure was intense but felt determined. This is my last chance, he thought. With resolve, he kneeled on the ground and introduced himself. This humble one is called Jalong Maryung. I've been like a brother to Yoon since we were young. Sukjinho, with a smile, remarked, all right, seeing as you didn't kick him out yet, you must get along well with Yoon. Jalong Maryung nodded, yes, young master. Haha. Sukjinho then inquired, is your goal to learn martial arts? Jalong Maryung nodded eagerly, yes. Sukjinho remarked, quite forthright, aren't you? There's no need to beat around the bush when you already know everything. You don't seem to have any ill intentions. Jalong Maryung responded, I'm a man who knows how to uphold trust. Sukjinho then asked, and why should I take you under my wing? Jalong Maryung replied confidently, I'll prove it to you. I will be useful as a follower. Observing him, Sukjinho thought, his character doesn't seem to be that bad. Judging by his gaze, he seems to have a strong will and determination. To further train Yoon, I also need someone to handle the menial tasks. Moreover, seeing Yoon's face suggests that he's been stressed over time. However, there is a decisive disqualification factor. Addressing Jalong Maryung, Sukjinho asked, hey, you said your name was Jalong Maryung. Jalong Maryung nodded, yes, young master. Sukjinho continued, but, do you know? You have no talent for martial arts. Jalong Maryung replied calmly, I know. I'm aware that I lack talent in martial arts. Suk Jinho questioned, knowing that, you're still so persistent? Jalong Mariam responded with conviction, yes. Becoming a martial artist is my dream. Beginning martial arts isn't as glorious as you imagine. Those hailed as heroes are no more than meddlesome people craving honor. One might even argue they're worse. You could lose your life to a single sword strike. I'm not under any illusions. I do understand that death could come at any time, any place. But dreams aren't dreams for no reason, right? Suk Jinho paused, reminiscing about the old days. Then he said, well, all right. I'll keep an eye on you for a while. Let's see how you fare. A bright smile appeared on Jalong Mariung's face. Pardon? Are you serious? His smile gradually faded as Suk Jinho clarified. Don't misunderstand. I didn't say I'd accepted you. I simply said I'd observe for now. Yoon intervened, but still, you've been given a chance. Jalong Mariung sneered. Really? Then he gracefully bowed, expressing his gratitude. Thank you. Suk Jinho instructed, you're only allowed up to the front yard, not inside or in the backyard. Do as you please. And from now on, don't let those bothersome guys linger around. Kick them all out. Jalong Mariung nodded in agreement. Yes. As he departed, tears of happiness flowed from him. Thanks, Yoon. Yoon replied, it's all due to your luck. Young master happened to step out at the right moment. Jalong Mariung acknowledged, I got this opportunity because you didn't kick me out. As they conversed, a voice came from behind. I've come to see young master Suk Jinho. Is he in? The man continued, lead the way. I carry a summons order from young Miss Suk Myung. Yoon questioned, what does the young miss need? The man gave a cold look. Your job is not to ask questions. Your job is to lead me to your master. Yoon frowned. Understood. A few minutes later, Suk Jinho emerged from his quarters, yawning as he questioned, why are there so many unwelcome guests today? Yoon whispered urgently, young master, they can hear us. The intruding man apologized, sorry for just intruding. Suk Jinho asked, sorry? I did hear that correctly? The man frowned, is there a problem? I'm here to deliver a summon order on behalf of young Miss Young Suk Myung. Suk Jinho replied in a teasing tone, it seems like your mistress enjoys raising barking dogs. Judging by how you bark without discerning your opponent. The man's head twitched. What? Suk Jinho's mouth curled up. A good beating is usually the cure for a rude dog. The man said, it seems you've grown arrogant ever since you started gaining a bit of attention. He then charged forward, exclaiming, I'll teach you a lesson on behalf of the young miss. Suk Jinho dodged the attack easily, thinking he can't even react. Just as expected from a puppy. With that said, he slapped him across the face, making him fall to the ground. The man frowned. What? I'm sure my punch. Suk Jinho sneered. Does it hurt? But it's far from over. With that said, he launched another blow to his chest. The man was stunned, a pressure point attack. And you precisely targeted the exact point accurately. His eyes widened as Suk Jinho exclaimed, well, now that I've extracted your fangs, is it time for fist therapy? A few moments later, Suk Jinho remarked, anyway, it's quite annoying how such insignificant fellows act so arrogantly. And in my own house, no less. Yoon asked, young master, do you need me to read the summon order? Suk Jinho replied wearily, my head hurts because of that guy. I can't read the summon. And usually, the person who regrets it is the one who takes the wrong action. Having done this much, they'll send someone competent now. The next day, on a pleasant morning near the lake with a beautiful scene, Suk Jinho and Suk Myung met. Suk Jinho said, I got the gist of it. Suk Myung, pouring tea into the cup, asked, but why did you respond so aggressively? Suk Jinho replied calmly, so he won't dare to do it again. The others who understood me will learn their lesson too. Suk Myung observed, you've changed quite a lot. Suk Jinho responded, if I hadn't changed, I would have been long dead. There would have only been a couple of people to attend my funeral. Suk Myung laughed warmly, our Jinho has grown up. Suk Jinho sneered, I'm not sure when I became our Jinho. Suk Myung replied, aren't you being too cold by drawing such clear lines? I am your older sister, you know. Suk Jinho urged, you didn't call me here to kill my titles. Please get to the point. Suk Myung replied, right, there's no need to waste time beating around the bush. Let's cut to the chase. Help me. Help me become the head of the Suk family. Suk Jinho instantly denied, I refuse. Suk Myung questioned. What? Did you get an offer from the other brothers? Or are you waiting for one? Suk Jinho replied coldly, I have no interest in any of the three, and I have no ambition to be the head of the Suk family. Suk Myung asked, Are you planning to enter Jianghu? But there is no reason for you to leave the family, right? You can still achieve your goals while helping me. As I become the head of the Suk family, I can handle the financial power, and you handle the martial power. That way, our family can wield significant influence in both the government and the Mum world. It would be much grander than your current goal. Suk Jinho replied, That would be beneficial for you and the Suk family. Suk Myung told him, It's beneficial for you too. This is where your roots lie. Moreover, you currently need a strong backer, don't you? Suk Jinho denied, No, I don't. Suk Myung stared at him and thought, That's a sincere expression, isn't it? Well, it's understandable. He caught the eyes of the elder of the big sect as soon as he learned martial arts, suppressed the other youngsters who started way earlier than him, and even overpowered a first-rate martial artist by disrupting the energy flow using pressure points. Furthermore, he has demonstrated enough of his talented potential. There's no reason for him not to show some arrogance. Suk Jinho stood up and said, Young miss will do well even without me. Suk Myung replied, What young miss? Don't fuss. Just call me Nuna like you used to. Fine. I have one last favor to ask. Keep having tea with me occasionally, as you do now. As you know, I don't have any close siblings. Suk Jinho said, As long as you don't bring along ill-mannered people. Suk Myung continued, You're going to keep up this facade till the end, aren't you? Expect more, little brother. I'm not the one to give up easily. The next day, in the Suk Palace. The Supreme Elder was stunned and asked, Who, is that true? That audacious brat fought and won against the third daughter's bodyguard. The disciple replied, Yes. He even blocked his vital energy, causing quite a predicament. The Supreme Leader said, If it's the third daughter's bodyguard, he must be at least a first-rate martial artist. I'm curious whether it was just luck or skill. The disciple told him, It's probably not a coincidence. Blocking the flow of energy is not something achieved by luck. The Supreme Elder scratched his beard. I suppose I should ask him directly what happened. The disciple said, Unfortunately, it seems difficult to meet him now. The Supreme Elder asked, Why is that? Did he get injured in a fight with the girls? By any chance? The disciple informed him, No, that's not it. He's said to have left the manor early this morning without a single attendant. Amid the jungle, Suk Jinho muttered, Tae-san. Is it still the same as ever? Thanks to that, I can find it without wandering around. Suddenly, his attention shifted as he heard a voice. What's that noise? Instantly, he rushed forward in that direction, contemplating. That's the sound of weapons clashing. In the distance, fighting with a muscular guy. This might liven up my otherwise dull day. With that, both of them charged forward. But suddenly, Suk Jinho came in between, exclaiming, Indeed, this is the kind of thrill only Jianghu can offer. The scene unfolded with a muscular man shouting, Who the hell are you? In response, Suk Jinho calmly exclaimed, Who I am is of no consequence. The man continued, accusingly, trying to covet a woman in broad daylight. You are quite lustful, aren't you? The woman interjected, warning, That man is a two-faced devil. I have been affected by his energy-scattering poison. Muttering to himself, Suk Jinho acknowledged, It's unfortunate for this young lady, but there are all sorts of men in the Jianghu. The woman cautioned him, Be careful. The two-faced devil charged forward, exclaiming, What an idiot. Getting distracted while I stand right in front of you. Suk Jinho swiftly dodged the attack and retorted, Is it supposed to be some secret technique? Surprised, the two-faced devil asked, How? Suk Jinho replied, What do you mean how? I dodged because you were too slow. If you're going to strike at an opponent's vulnerability, you should at least do this. With that said, he kicked a small piece of rock at the devil. The small rock struck the two-faced devil's knees, prompting a grunt of pain. Ugh, this nobody bastard is showing off just because he's in front of a woman, he muttered, charging his powers. Your arrogance ends here. I'll end you with a single strike. With those words, he unleashed his attack. Suk Jinho dodged effortlessly once more and remarked, You're slow. Your attacks are amateurish. And yet, you are so self-assured. That's impressive in its own right, wouldn't you say? Then, with precision, he delivered a powerful blow to the devil's waist, adding, I'm used to dealing with loudmouths like you. All bark and no bite. The force of the blow caused the two-faced devil to spit blood from his mouth. For now, I will seal your energy, Suk Jinho declared. You seem like the type who enjoys a dramatic finish with the lady like her. He continued, noticing the girl's relief. The girl stepped forward, visibly grateful, and said, "Thank you. Thank you." Suk Jinho replied simply, "Don't mention it." At that moment, a voice called out from behind, "Young miss." A figure approached, exclaiming, "Young miss, what happened here?" The girl moved forward and cried, "Uncle." The man apologized, saying, "I apologize, young miss. I should have been more vigilant." "No, I should be the one apologizing for sneaking out," the girl replied. Suk Jinho overheard the conversation and murmured to himself, "Aha, so she snuck out to explore the Jianghu on her own." The man turned to the girl, expressing concern. "More importantly, you don't look well. Did you get poisoned?" "I've been poisoned by energy-scattering poison," the girl confirmed. "It may be hard, but try to regulate your breath. I'll use my internal energy to expel the poison, so you need to concentrate," the man instructed. He tapped with both hands on her back, and then a vital energy poured into her body. "It seems like we're done here." "Thank you, uncle," the girl said gratefully. "I'm glad you're fine, young miss," the man replied. Then he bowed in front of Suk Jinho, saying more than that. "I apologize for the late introduction. I'm truly grateful to you for saving the young miss. I am Baek Sangin of the Hubukpunk family." The girl added, "And I am Ping Naon of the Hubukpunk family." Suk Jinho pointed at the two-faced devil and said, "Let's postpone the introductions and handle that guy first. I've applied pressure to his acupoints, so there shouldn't be any problem." Then he murmured to himself, "If they start talking about paying favors unnecessarily, then it might become a bother. I'll have to find the right time to leave." Ping Naon informed them, "This guy called himself the two-faced devil." Baek Sangin added, "The two-faced devil might be a first-rate warrior, but he has a track record of killing even the peak masters." Ping Naon chimed in with a smile, but he was subdued in one blow. The young master even managed to deflect the yin-yang technique of the two-faced devil and counterattacked. Suk Jinho thought, "Then, I'll take my leave." Baek Sangin turned to Suk Jinho and asked, "Young master, your name?" But as soon as their attention shifted to him, he escaped. Baek Sangin contemplated, even if I was preoccupied with the two-faced devil, I can't believe I didn't sense him leaving. And he even looked like he hadn't reached adulthood yet. The young master. Ping Naon remarked, "We didn't even know his name before he disappeared." Baek Sangin observed her expression and thought, if young miss is making that face, could it be? Then he declared, "I will find him, no matter what. A warrior of that caliber won't remain hidden for long." Ping Naon nodded in agreement, saying, "Right? He's even more powerful than the 6 dragons, and since we know his exact appearance, it won't take us long. Our Hubukping family never forgets a favor. Let's find our benefactor quickly." As night fell, Suk Jinho found himself still in the Jianghu jungle. It was nearby. The terrain is still the same, he noted to himself. Peeking behind the bushes, his mouth curled up in a satisfied smirk. As expected, my memory wasn't wrong. Suddenly, a voice echoed, "YEWWWW." Suk Jinho was surprised. What's this? "Who? It seems like you understand what I'm saying. Should I use my spiritual eye to check?" the voice continued. "A spirit beast?" Though still at the early stage, Suk Jinho mused. In the next moment, the spirit started behaving unusually, exclaiming, "MAMAOW." Suk Jinho sneered, "Oh, you can even see my internal energy. I'll give you something you can eat instead of this 100-year-old wild ginseng. I've been eyeing more than just this spot on the Tayson. A 60-year-old wild ginseng isn't too bad, right?" Both of them took a bite of the spiritual herb. "Phew. Indeed, it's a good spirit herb," Suk Jinho remarked. "I can already feel it spreading throughout my entire body. With the lessons from my past experiences, I need to guide it slowly towards my dantian. And then, the energy I have gathered from the 100-year-old wild ginseng will be merged with the energy of the chaotic origin heavenly thunder divine art." After a few hours, he breathed out in relief. "Phew, I've managed to absorb it properly." The cat meowed softly. Suk Jinho looked at her and asked, "Have you been waiting up all night? Thank you for protecting me." I'll repay you when we meet next time. Take care. The cat approached him and started licking him. Suk Jinho chuckled and said, You want to follow me? Meow, the cat responded eagerly. Well, if you wish to follow me, I won't stop you, Suk Jinho said. Then from today, your name will be Darky. Meow, came the contented reply. Later, in Suk Jinho's quarters. You want to claim that place? Suk Jinho asked. Mayo, Darky replied. Well, I'm not sure how much longer I'll stay here, but I think I'll stay at least until the end of this year, so feel at ease, Suk Jinho assured. His attention shifted as someone called him, Young Master. It was Jalong Mariung with Yoon and the nanny. I would have gone with you if you had just given the order, Jalong Mariung exclaimed. The nanny moved forward and hugged him, saying, Did your journey go well? Suk Jinho replied, And is the nanny also doing well? Yoon inquired, Did you accomplish what you set out to do? Of course. I had a pretty fruitful time, Suk Jinho responded. As Darky came near and played, the nanny asked, Oh my, what's this cat? Suk Jinho explained, A new family member will be living with from now on. I have named it Darky. Jalong Mariung sneered, It's a bit. No, my subordinate, Suk Jinho clarified. The nanny patted Darky with her soft hands, saying, Oh my, this little one is your subordinate? It's so affectionate. It's a dangerous little creature. Very, very dangerous. It has the power to easily defeat a few third-rate warriors, Suk Jinho warned. The nanny chuckled. This little one is dangerous? You're funny, young master. Jalong Mariung murmured to himself, A cat as a subordinate. I haven't even been recognized as a subordinate yet. Suk Jinho noticed Jalong Mariung's serious expression and asked, Why do you look so serious? Jalong Mariung answered with a chuckle, Haha, I'm seemingly still an outsider. Even though it's just a cat, it bothers me. Suk Jinho questioned, Have you been training? Jalong Mariung replied, I've been training diligently with Yoon. Suk Jinho departed, saying, Well, we'll know once I verify it. I'll rest for today. Everyone else, carry on with your tasks. Yoon offered, Darky, would you like some jerky? Darky responded with a contented Naya. The next day, Jalong Mariung was training hard, practicing fist techniques, when Darky passed by yawning, Mia W. Jalong Mariung noticed Darky and whispered, Is that prick yawning? This cat dares to disregard humans. Then he shouted, pointing, You little animal. How dare you ignore a human? Meow, Darky retorted. Just at that moment, Suk Jinho and Yoon arrived, laughing. Suk Jinho asked, Just now, were you quarreling with Darky? Jalong Mariung replied, Young master, Darky doesn't seem like an ordinary cat. Suk Jinho said, That's right, it's not your average cat. So calling it an animal will make it angry. Maybe it might even hit you. Jalong Mariung sneered, Young master. No matter what, being disrespected by an animal like a cat. Suddenly, Darky punched him in the face, Mew. Suk Jinho intervened. I warned you that it would be angry if you kept calling it an animal. Jalong Mariung was confused, but no matter what, how could it? NY, Darky expressed. It seems like Darky wants to show you something, Suk Jinho suggested. Darky made several poses, causing Jalong Mariung to frown. My goodness, how could a cat? Suk Jinho laughed and explained, Darky is a spirit beast, so it's capable of doing that. Even if it's a spirit beast, it's still, Jalong Mariung began. Yoon interjected, It wasn't an ordinary cat. Suk Jinho cautioned, Just keep that to yourself and don't tell others. More importantly, we have a guest. At that moment, a figure stepped into the quarters. The person bowed and said, It has been a while. The Supreme Elder is seeking your presence. Later, in the Supreme Elder's palace. Suk Jinho inquired, How have you been in the meantime? The Supreme Elder replied gravely, How could I be well when my grandson left home without a word? Suk Jinho said sarcastically, Isn't it too late to report every single thing? The Supreme Elder asked, Are you teasing your grandfather again? Suk Jinho retorted, I'm just telling the truth. The Supreme Elder remarked, You don't know there are many who can't even tell the truth, right? More importantly, it seems something good happened when you were outside. Your vibe has changed. Yes, I was lucky, Suk Jinho admitted. The Supreme Elder inquired, Do you still hold the intention of leaving to attain greatness through martial arts? Yes. I don't find anything fulfilling here, Suk Jinho replied. The Supreme Elder stated, this place is your home. Suk Jinho responded, just because it's home doesn't necessarily mean I have to stay, right? The Supreme Elder countered, there have always been those who departed. But you are different. I guess it's because of my current situation, Suk Jinho reflected. If it were the past, would I have been able to face the Supreme Elder like this? To be honest, it seems like you're showing interest in me just because you find me useful. The Supreme Elder nodded. I won't deny that. But my wish for you to stay is genuine. Suk Jinho said, I'll gratefully accept your statement, but I don't believe I'm as exceptional as you think. The Supreme Elder laughed and remarked, if you're going to lie, at least do it well. Who do you think would believe that? Suk Jinho replied confidently, quite a few, I think. The Supreme Elder murmured to himself, could it be this kid? Being confined in his quarters all this time was his subtle plan, so he could leave the Suk family naturally. Considering his recent actions, there's a high probability it was meticulously planned. Then he urged, answer me honestly. What's your intention for leaving the family that has a smooth path laid out for you? Do you think you can't be satisfied with just being the tail of a dragon? Suk Jinho's mouth curled up. A dragon? The Supreme Elder replied, yeah, though calling you a dragon might not do justice. Well then, why don't you raise yourself as a dragon? Suk Jinho said firmly, that's not my responsibility. It's the duty of the other siblings. The Supreme Elder asked, didn't you also carry on the Suk family blood? Suk Jinho replied, only half of it. Shouldn't it be the task of those who have truly carried on the lineage? The Supreme Elder asked, Hugh, do you have no intention of ever coming back? Suk Jinho replied firmly, no, I don't. The Supreme Elder suggested, then, perhaps celebrate your birthday party first before you go. But until then, at least engage in conversation with your grandfather occasionally. You'll grant me this simple favor, won't you? Suk Jinho nodded, all right. The Supreme Elder remarked, good. Then go ahead. You seem eager to leave. Suk Jinho stood up and declared, then I'll take my leave. With that said, he departed from the palace. The Supreme Elder sneered, he's inherited the Suk family's stubbornness, hasn't he? So, what do you think? The disciple answered thoughtfully, he has changed a lot in a short time. His energy may seem comparable to that of a beginner, but we should not assess him solely based on his energy. The Supreme Elder sighed, it is regrettable, truly regrettable. With that lad alone, the Suk family could truly become a real dragon. Suk Jinho arrived at his quarters with Darky by his side. The two attendants greeted him, young master. Did you have a pleasant journey? It seems you had a long conversation with the Supreme Elder, one of them remarked. Suk Jinho explained, that's not it. I was called by young Miss Suk Miryong on my way here, so I was a bit late. Young Miss Suk Miryong? Did something happen? They inquired. Suk Miryong replied casually, no, it was nothing. Suk Jinho recalled, before the annoying talk came out, Darky attracted her attention well. He's surprisingly useful in many ways. Feeling hungry, he yawned and said, I have to fill my stomach first. Yoon, tell Danny to prepare a meal. Yoon promptly responded, yes, young master. Suk Jinho pondered, I just want to live quietly now. But why do I feel like something more tiring is going to happen? As soon as the words left his mouth, the other hand, Baek Sangin and Ping Naeon stepped into town. Ping Naeon sneered, so, this is the Suk family. But is it okay to just show up without notice? Baek Sangin assured her, we've just come to express our gratitude, so don't worry. Then he approached a person in front of him and introduced himself. My name is Baek Sang Ji-in from the Hobukpung family. I've come to see young Master Suk Jinho. Could you please announce my arrival? To their surprise, the person in front of them was the young master, Suk Jin Ryng, who sneered, Hobukpung family? No way, who is this? Then he greeted Ping Naeon. Isn't this the Lady Ping? Long time no see. What brings you to our residence? His expression shifted as Ping Naeon explained, I've come to see young Master Suk Jinho. Baek Sangin added, he's our benefactor who saved our young miss. So we have come to express our gratitude. Can we see him? Suk Jin Ryng murmured to himself. Jinho became a benefactor. Then he said, I understand. Let me guide you. As they approached, Suk Jinho remarked, somehow, I sense something unsettling happening soon. Meanwhile, Suk Jin Ryng thought to himself, his thoughts are quite obvious. He must be curious about my relationship with the young miss from the Pink family. As they reached, Baek Sangin and Ping Nayeon greeted him. Ping Nayeon said, "My name is Ping Nayeon. I've come to pay respects to my benefactor. I regret not being able to thank you earlier for saving my life. Hence, I came here." Suk Jin-ho responded with a smile, "Since you have come all this way, please come in. But please excuse our humble accommodations." Baek Sangin thought to himself, "I think it's quite cozy and nice." Then he turned to Suk Jin-ryong and expressed his gratitude. "Young Master Sek Jin-ryong, thank you for guiding us here. But I would like to excuse myself now." Suk Jin-ryong asked, "Am I supposed to hear this?" Baek Sangin clarified, "We'll be having an extended conversation with young Master Suk Jin-ho." Suk Jin-ryong bowed and said, "I'll arrange for someone to guide you to your quarters later. As guests, we'd like to host you properly." Then he whispered to his disciple, "Hey, try finding out what happened between that guy and the Habukpung family." The disciple replied, "Pardon? How can I, when there's Baek Sangin, one of the top experts of the Habukpung family?" Suk Jin-ryong snapped in anger, "So you can't do it?" The disciple frowned and said, No, I can." Suk Jin-ryong sneered, "Habukpung family is famous for producing outstanding martial artists from humble backgrounds. If our family could harness the Ping family's martial strength, it wouldn't be impossible for us to become the best in the world. And with that level, she'd make quite a good wife." Inside the quarters, the three began their conversation over tea. Ping Nayeon said, "I tried to visit quietly, but I wonder if I've stirred things up too much." Suk Jin-ho reassured her. Suk Jin-ryong seemed surprised, "But I'm fine." Baek Sangin glared at him, thinking, he's different from the usual younger generation. It's impressive that he doesn't show any signs of being flustered in front of such a beauty at his age. Suk Jin-ryong's facial expression changes were quite visible. Ping Nayeon blushed and presented a gift, saying, "Here's a small token of my gratitude. I've been wanting to repay you for saving my life. It's a plaque similar to the one I use. You can receive various benefits if you use it. It also enables you to get a sustainable amount of financial support." Suk Jin-ho said with a different expression, "Haha, this is hardly a small token." Baek Sangin remarked, "But it's not as important as the young miss. If he refuses to take it, I'm afraid the young miss might not move from this place, since she is a stubborn one." Suk Jin-ho replied, "In that case, I'll accept it for now." A bright smile appeared on Ping Nayeon's face. "Thank you." Suk Jin-ho responded, "I suppose that's my line." Then he murmured to himself, "Actually, I've been looking for ways to raise money. This isn't a bad idea, but it could also become a shackle if misused. But it should be fine if used moderately." The next day, the two met with Suk Jin-ho again. Ping Nayeon asked, "Did you sleep well?" Suk Jin-ho replied, Yes." A blush appeared on Ping Nayeon's face. Suk Jin-ho inquired, "Do you have something to say to me?" Ping Nayeon said, "Oh, you noticed? By any chance, could you spar with me?" Suk Jin-ho sneered, "A spar? Well, sure." Ping Nayeon jumped with happiness. "Wow." Suk Jin-ho told her, "Let's start as soon as you're ready." Ping Nayeon replied eagerly, "Yes, young master." A few moments later, Suk Jin-ho declared, "I'll let you make the first move." Ping Nayeon was surprised by his confidence. What? He didn't seem to exert much force, but there was incredible power within. Moreover, it's as if he's already anticipating every movement technique that I'm about to use next, as if he's already familiar with our family's martial arts. She became scared and started to step back, but unfortunately, Suk Jin-ho charged forward. He leapt into the air using his martial technique and directly pointed his sword at Ping Nayeon. She was stunned. Suk Jin-ho said, "May I offer some advice?" Ping Nayeon nodded, "Of course. I was hoping to ask for your guidance." Suk Jin-ho handed over the sphere while exclaiming, "Your technique is good, and your execution is solid. But you're too predictable. I suggest mixing in some unexpected attacks." Ping Nayeon asked, "Unexpected attacks?" Suk Jin-ho nodded. "You catch on quickly." Ping Nayeon then asked, Could we spar again tomorrow?" Suk Jin-ho sneered, "Tomorrow as well? That's fine. It benefits me as well." Ping Nayeon said, "I'm relieved you think so." Then, "See you again tomorrow," Suk Jin-ho said as he departed. Ping Nayeon turned to Baek Sangin and asked, "How is it?" Baek Sangin replied, "I thought the young miss was exaggerating. But if he has reached such a level in less than a year, His potential seems even greater than that of the 6 dragons. Ping Naon said, right? I am a very objective person. Beck Sangan remarked, is it a good thing though? They say you shouldn't be too obvious if you like someone. Ping Naon blushed but retorted, what? I don't understand what you're saying. Then she turned and said, more importantly, aren't you curious? About the extent of the young master's skills. Beck Sangan replied, I am indeed curious. If the opportunity arises, let's test him together. It could be a means of repaying his kindness. Ping Naon said with joy, that would be so exciting. Meanwhile, in the Suk family palace, the man with a mustache was the Suk family manor master and also the father of Suk Jinho, Suk Myong Il. He inquired, is this true? Has Jinho changed so much? The disciple answered, these are things I have personally confirmed. A boy who went unnoticed has now rejected the proposals of Manhua and Zongnana elders, and he even won the spar with the Habukping family sword flower, Pang Nayon. Geniuses do have a habit of appearing out of the blue. Suk Myong Il said, ho ho, it's a good thing. But it leaves a bad taste in my mouth since he has no interest in the family. The disciple told him, after rejecting Miss Miryong's proposal, today, he also rejected the young master Jin Ryong's offer. The young miss still hasn't given up. Suk Myong Il sneered, he even rejected the proposal of his father, the supreme elder. Will he care about the proposals of Miryong and Jin Ryong? The disciple added, if you look at the last report, something is interesting. Suk Myong Il said, who? Sword Flower and Jin Ryong. It's not a bad plan, but it seems unlikely to come to fruition. Even if the Habukpung family is at the bottom of the top 5 families, they are still one of the top powers in the world. One of the prestigious households that leads the righteous Murim world. Unless the Sword Flower herself takes an interest in Jin Ryong, it seems impossible to bring the Habukpung family's forbidden apple to this house with just money. The disciple said, I'll figure something out. Suk Myong Il added, one more thing. Tell Jin Ryong to stop messing around. If our relationship gets damaged due to his pointless actions, I'll hold him responsible. Someone played with Darky, so Jinho is raising a cat, and it turns out to be you? Darky walked out as Suk Jinho arrived, saying that Darky is calm. I guess it's not an unwelcome guest. On the street in town, the person said, it's been a while, Jinho. Suk Jinho recognized him and replied, Uncle Diakwal, long time no see. Later, in Suk Jinho's quarters, Suk Diakwal remarked, I heard rumors that you've changed, and it's indeed true. Suk Jinho replied, I'll change even more in the future. I'm getting older, after all. Suk Diakwal chuckled, just 17th and already talking about getting old. Suk Jinho countered, 17th is old enough. Don't you understand what coming of age means in the Suk family? Suk Diakwal nodded, yes, I understand it better than anyone. Suk Jinho appreciated, I'm always grateful for your support, uncle. Suk Diakwal, he continued, the representative of the Suk Wind Escort Agency, run by the Suk family manor. He was born as an illegitimate son of the Suk family. That's why he understands Suk Jinho's situation better than anyone. He couldn't ignore Suk Jinho, who was left isolated like a loner. That's why, whenever he returned to the Suk family after a mission, he would occasionally look after Suk Jinho. That is to say, as I originally promised Suk Jinho, the original owner of this body, I cannot ignore him either. Suk Jinho asked, so, what's on your mind? Suk Diakwal replied, I've wasted my life. To think I'd be seen through by someone who hasn't even lived half as much as I have. Suk Jinho said, you managed to keep a poker face. It's just that I'm rather perceptive. Now that the cat's out of the bag, speak it out. Seol Diakwal answered, it may be shameless of me, but I need your help, Jinho. Our escort agency is in danger, and I need the assistance of Master Beck Sangan. The White Demon Escort Agency has always been eyeing our Suk Wind Escort Agency, and they have finally sought help from the Black Crow Fortress and hatched a sinister plot this time. While there is no evidence, I'm sure they are the ones who did it. The situation is quite complicated. Suk Jinho said, certainly if Master Beck steps in, things would be much easier. Since he is one of the top masters in the Habuk province, regardless of the Black Crow Fortress belonging to the 18th Fortresses of the Green Forest, they won't be a match for him. Seol Diakwal said, I already asked him for a favor yesterday, but he refused. I heard that you have a special relationship with Lady Peng. That's why I came to ask you as a last resort. Suk Jinho replied, Our relationship isn't as significant as the rumors say. I can arrange a meeting, but you'll probably be refused again. Sukdiakwal said, but I must try again. If you can arrange the meeting, I'll figure out the rest. Sukjinho replied, in that case, let's meet right away. There's no point in delaying. They seem to be waiting right outside the door. Both of you, stop standing outside and come in. With that said, both of them entered inside. Sukdiakwal said, I am Sukdiakwal, Master Beck. We met yesterday. Beksangan replied, I remember you are the representative of the Sukwind escort agency. Sukjinho urged, Master Beck and Lady Ping, please have a seat. Didn't you already exchange greetings? Beksangan said, we did more than just exchanging greetings. It appears that the reason we are gathered today is related to yesterday's events. Did young Master Diak also plan to request my assistance? Sukjinho sneered, a request. Then he placed the gifted token on the table, exclaiming, before we begin, I should return this to you. Their expressions changed. Beksangan sneered, no, this is. Sukjinho continued, helping Lady Ping initially was just about doing what was right. I never expected anything in return. It's something I can live without. I'm returning because I don't want Master Beck to feel obligated to do something you don't want to because of it. I'm not going to request, but instead propose something. If you accompany me to Black Crow Fortress, there will be two benefits. One is to resolve your curiosity, and the other is to gain practical experience. Beksangan got confused. If it's about resolving our curiosity, you can't simply mean. Sukjinho interrupted and continued, both of you are interested in my martial arts techniques, so how about satisfying curiosity by having me take on the notorious bandit leader of the Black Crow Fortress? Beksangan asked, are you confident? The Black Crow Fortress leader is known as a formidable opponent. Sukjinho replied, if you think I'm bluffing, you can check my skills for yourself. Let's go right away without delay. The two stood in front of each other, ready to face off. Sukdiakwak asks, can Jinho even be a match for Master Beck, the Punkson Iron Fist? Ping Neon replied, it won't end as easily as you think, Representative. Young Master Suk is not to be underestimated either. Sukdiakwak murmured to himself, even if it's true that Jinho has changed as rumored. The skill gap is too big to bridge. Sukjinho asked, if you are ready, shall we start? Beksangan replied, I will let you have the first move. Sukjinho charged forward exclaiming, let's begin. He punched, but Beksangan dodged his first attack. Sukjinho contemplated, he's fast. The aura he radiates is nothing short of remarkable. I didn't even realize I was activating my heaven and earth dominating divine technique. If that's the case, I need to stop his bothersome movements first. He used his energy to immobilize him. Suddenly, his eyes widened. He's piercing through my energy and closing in? Sukjinho moved forward fearlessly, raising his hand to emanate a golden aura that collided with Beksangan's. Sukjinho contemplated, it's still too early to suppress him with your strength. It's impossible, but there's no need to fight inefficiently. Beksangan said, the move I considered has ended. Sukjinho replied, I know. Let's get started. They exchanged a couple of punches. Sukjinho thought, there's no need to necessarily win. I just need to put up a decent fight. Beksangan observed and murmured to himself, huh? Did he just close the distance? Suddenly, he received a powerful blow that made him step back. I've let my guard down. To be caught off guard this easily. His movements, it's as if he's predicting all of my moves. It's almost hard to believe. Both of them continued their fight, sometimes exchanging blows with fists and other times unleashing their spiritual power. Beksangan pondered, can I gauge his true skills if I unleash my full strength? It should be fine to do so once. Sukjinho suggested, you can use more of your internal energy. That should help satiate your curiosity, wouldn't it? Beksangan sneered, if that's the case. Judging by the skill he has exhibited so far, he should be able to handle this easily. Try to block this. The supreme skill of the Habukping family. Heaven and Earth Divine Palm transform into Heaven and Earth Divine Fist. A huge amount of energy was emitted, so intense that even Sukdiakwak and Ping Neon couldn't bear it, as the smoke gradually faded. Sukdiakwak suggested, don't we need to stop this? Ping Neon replied, just watch. It'll be all right. As the two arrived, Jalong Maryang expressed, I'm scared that something big might happen. Yoon reassured, just relax and wait. Our young master is strong. Baek Sang-in laughed heartily. Ha ha. Ha 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 ha. Meanwhile, Suk Jinho didn't even have a single scratch and urged, let's stop here, since you have seen enough. Ping Nayeon was impressed, as expected of a young master, while Suk Diakwok was stunned. God heavens. Jinho. Jinho is. Tears welled in Jalong Maryung's eyes with happiness, as expected of our young master. We believed in you. Yoon chimed in. Haha, you were worried just a moment ago. Baek Sang-in asked, will you be okay? If you were to fight with the strong bandit fortress, the skills you have been hiding so far would be revealed to the world. Suk Jinho replied firmly, I never intended to hide them anyway. I can't abandon someone who has looked after me since childhood, whatever the reason. Suk Diakwok smiled. Ji Jinho. Baek Sang-in said, good. We'll accompany you. Ping Nayeon added, that's great, uncle. Baek Sang-in murmured to himself, the more I see, the more impressive he becomes. I'll need to send word to the family once this is all over, to establish a connection with a hidden dragon, stronger than the 6 dragons. Later, on Black Crow Mountain, the 5 of them marched forward to their destination. While moving ahead, the head of the Sookwind Escort Agency was contemplating, I'm not entirely sure if this is the right course of action. Recalling the earlier discussion, he questioned, divide our forces? Are you considering a pincer attack? Suk Jinho clarified, technically, it's not a pincer attack. We just need enough men to ensure no one can escape. The agency had expressed concern, we can't afford to be reckless in this matter. No matter what happens, we need to retrieve the goods. That's why we can't divide our forces. Suk Jinho informed them, the banditry was not the sole action of Black Crow Fortress. The White Demon Escort Agency is the one backing them up. Do you think they would have entrusted the Black Crow Fortress entirely with this plan? They probably planted someone to smuggle out the goods in case of an emergency. Their aim is likely to undermine trust in the Sookwind Escort Agency. The head of the agency murmured to himself, it's certainly a plausible scenario. But even so, dividing our forces is a bit. Baek Sang-in assured him, you don't need to worry about things going awry. As long as I'm here, nothing of the sort will happen. The head of the agency declared, if even Master Baek says that. Let's do it as you say. Even though Master Baek has stepped in and I allowed it. But to reduce the forces entering through the main gate by more than half. Is it okay? Suddenly, his eyes widened as Suk Jinho shattered the main gate with just one kick. Suk Jinho turned and said, there's no need to worry, agency head. The agency head was alarmed, you're telling me not to worry in this situation. Suk Diakwok interrupted and said, I assure you it's fine. Jinho is strong. The agency head sneered, what did you say? Suddenly, at that moment, a bald man approached from inside, shouting, who the hell are you? Suk Jinho replied coldly, you'll see for yourself. As the bald man stepped forward, Suk Jinho grabbed him by the neck. Someone from behind remarked, just how strong Jinho is.